We're on episode 9 of World of the Podcast. Today we have Coach Ahmad Majed here from Soccer Elite Academy and Northside United. And we're happy to have you. I let you introduce yourself, Coach, and
Okay,
we get started.
thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Solar. Thanks for having me part of this. And I'm really excited to be doing this with you guys and try some of the amazing tea. I was just walking around your shop. Oh my God, it's endless amount of flavors. Endless.
That is true. Yeah, we have a lot of selections for something for everybody, kind of, you can say. No matter what you like, you'll find something here.
Yeah.
And I was actually at the soccer center, the new soccer center, very exciting, up and coming. And we walked around with Coach Ahmed. I actually took some videos as well. We'll edit them in so you can take a peek as well and see what's coming. I think it's a big deal in soccer community right now in Edmonton.
It is. It's a game changer for sure. But before we get into that, just for the audience and everybody around, I'll introduce myself. Obviously, Ahmad Majed, coach, founder and director of Soccer Elite Academy, founder of Northside United, Elite FC. We have our own, facility now, which is pretty amazing. It's an amazing accomplishment, I think, for both, the club side and the academy side. I think that's one of the biggest things that we were missing. When people ask me, like for the growth and what we're doing, what is one of the obstacles that's standing in your way to grow a little bit more, and it's always come back to facility, time, flexibility to be able to put players on the pitch to train and to play. And now we close that gap, and we're super excited to open our doors. We actually just hosted our first session with the academy with a team from Yellowknife. They flew in all the way down to train with us, and so that was our break in the ground with that team. So it was pretty phenomenal little session. Maybe I'll send you a video. You can incorporate it into that too.
Amazing. From what I understand, myself being in the football scene, the soccer scene in Edmonton for quite a while, is that most of the soccer centers you see around the city are either publicly funded or private-public partnership in a way that's like a lot of the money comes from public, but it's privately run. But from what I understand, this might be the first that it's completely privately funded. You guys did the whole thing yourself. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, of course.
That is I think that is, sorry to cut you off, but I think that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, a lot of sacrifice, a lot of personal investments as well that went into this. We do it for a good cause. We started this honestly from 12 players, back in 2019. We just ran our 7th anniversary summer festival, like end of year summer festival, because we started it. The first one we had was in 2019. We did one in 2020, obviously 21, 22, 23, 24, and we just did one in 2025. We just concluded, and we've come a long way, and we started with 12 to 14 players, and we grew and we continued to grow. And for us to put back right into the kids and invest in the kids, and we found some great partners, some phenomenal partners, and with Belgium Development and ARC by Pivotal. Those are our partners, and they're into the exact same things that we believe in athlete development, and it's huge, like ARC is it's athlete recovery center, and so you'll get the sauna, the steam, the ice bath, the physio, the massage, the training, the recovery. They do all that, and then we cater a lot to the youth programming, which is obviously the football world we call soccer here, the soccer development. But we're also now branching into a national license, so we're starting to have our SQS in the building as well. We have our own facility where players can train on strength, speed, agility, quickness, and all the above, right? To develop the complete athlete. That's what we call the complete athlete, the elite athlete. So this is the elite performance program, which is very important, I think, for these athletes, to continue to develop. But that was the gap that we closed, and we're super excited to open our doors. And I think I'm excited for the kids more than I'm excited for the organization. I'm excited for the kids. The kids are super excited. The players are super excited. They have a place where they can go and call home. This is going to be their home, actually. In fact, you saw it said home of the elite. We branded it. We branded the building. We call it the Elite Lab because that's where, we're going to produce a lot of talent that you'll see playing on the national stage.
Yeah, and I think you're already doing. A few of the players already are playing, and you have athletes who made it to the national team.
Yes.
You have athletes who playing on top 3 clubs in the country. I had the privilege of actually coaching briefly some of them during some games. You sent a couple of players where they were phenomenal, and I even reached out to you. On one of the, I think it was this kid called Lucas, and I called you and I was like, oh my God, this kid is just like, he's one with the ball. It's like he so seamless and so amazing. So and then later I saw he made it to the.
He's an amazing player. He's one of many. We have about 24, 25 players that have made it to play in Europe. Obviously Lucas is playing for FC Montreal. U18, and he's doing very, very well. Scored a few goals. He's a defender, midfielder player. They usually mostly use him in the defense, but he's a phenomenal player. He's a phenomenal kid, phenomenal athlete. But beyond that, we coach the holistic part of the game and the person side, and he's an amazing kid. Like, just as a person, he's an amazing human being. He comes from a great family. We have players that play for the Whitecaps right now as well. We have a couple of 3 girls, 3 boys that play there right now. So, and they're very, very high level, projected to do very, very well. And we have a full team. The 2010s going to nationals. They just dominated a game. I think they played the Warriors in the final. I think you were there watching. I'm not sure, but it was a complete domination. They turned off the lights on that team, and they won. I think 5-1. I believe they won.
Oh, okay. So it was a team that we watched at the.
They're leaving this Monday, so they're going to nationals. They've been prepping. We've been helping them prepare. So they're playing and they're grinding against some of the best players. We've been grinding them against some of the varsity players that we have, to get them ready. And I truly believe they're gonna win. They're gonna win the national. They'll be the best team to be crowned.
Amazing.
Come this end of this national championship. So, and these are all kids we've had since they were 6 and 7 and 8 years old, most of them.
It's very impressive what you built. You're having our Orange Creamsicle tea here right now. Amazing. I have to talk about tea.
Yeah,
as well sometimes.
I was just thinking about it as we were speaking. I'm sipping on this tea, and I'm like, oh man, this tea is amazing.
Yeah, it's so. I think I made this for you one time before, but it was a little bit too strong, I think. Yeah. But this time it's more balanced.
It's perfect.
Perfect. This time it's really
it's really, really good. Really, really good.
So I worked with the Northside United club briefly for a season, and while I was coaching there, I was so impressed with the club. We ended up sponsoring a few of the teams. We sponsored 30 teams for 3 years period of time, and I just wanted to say, it's been such a fulfilling thing for us, because just seeing what it's doing in the community, I think it's been one of the kind of best investments that I feel that we made, because I see a lot of young kids who are not involved in activities and sports, and something that will help them spend that youth energy in a positive way.
Absolutely.
Get that youth. Some of the kids have aggression. They have aggression from maybe their past, what's happening in the family. It's a very good outlet for them to actually, and young boys have aggression naturally. growing up, especially in those years of when they're 13, 14, 15, 16. Can you talk a little bit more about that? And
Yeah, absolutely. I just to touch on that, it's not just the boys, it's the boys and the girls. We've grown, double the size. I think when you started, I think we were at about 24, 25 teams. And we're at 36 right now, and our girls program is growing tremendously. I think it's boys and girls need to be active. It's very, very important for them to belong, and they belong to this club. And this is one of the biggest things now. They have a home, and they can come hang their hat and come ask questions. And if they need help, we're here to help them. And there's a support system, and they feel that they're supported. And absolutely, now, when they're on the field 4 times a week playing a game, they're excited. They wake up excited to do something. Instead of like, if they're not doing anything on the weekend, they're done school, they're not excited to do anything. They're going to go to the mall, hang out, and get into trouble maybe, and that's the biggest thing is they're always have something to look forward to do. If it's coming from school, they're looking forward to go to training. They're looking forward to go seeing their coach, their teammates, who they're going to see at the new lab. What are they going to do? They can come and hang out, watch TV, watch games, sit in the lounge where we have a little lounge, where we're probably going to have a PlayStation, a big 70-inch TV. They can come and hang out, before their session. They can take the bus, the LRT, come. It's their home. So now they belong to a club. They belong to a facility. They belong to something that they can truly call home.
And there's a clubhouse, and there's a place
Yes,
to
so
be in.
absolutely.
I'll let you smell this thing.
Yes, absolutely.
This is a white tea and tangerine break. I've
Wow, okay.
These are sent to me from China. These are made from some tea leaves that are from very old trees.
Okay.
So older the trees are, better the leaves are. So
Okay.
because tree can access more minerals.
Okay.
And so I'll make you some of that.
Awesome.
In the meantime, I wanted to touch on, you said the support system, because I feel like, let's say you have trouble at home, right?
Yep.
It's like when the soccer team or any team sport becomes your second kind of family, the teammates, the coach in a way becomes a role model, and or if almost like I don't want to say no one can take of course the place of the parents, but
Of course.
sometimes it becomes a little bit like maybe like a distant uncle, someone you can go talk to. You want to
100%.
elaborate on that?
You know what? That's a great topic. I can definitely elaborate. I can tell you about a situation that happened just the other day. We as an academy, we are tied to obviously to NSU Elite, but we're also still working with many different clubs around the city because we want to develop players, right? And so we work with a few other clubs around the city. We work with Scottish. We work with for Saskatchewan Arsenal. We work with different types of organizations. Obviously, we just had Dynamo Yellowknife come out. And there's this one kid, that in particular, he was doing really, really well. He was brand new to the team for Saskatchewan Arsenal. I walked up to the kid. I'm like, hey, kid, you're doing really well. You're listening and you're, you're doing what you're supposed to do. And it shows because you're learning really quick. Within a session, this kid just developed. Like you can see the development automatic. And he goes, I don't listen to my mom, but I listen to you. I said, well, you got to listen to your mom. So that lesson alone, just to take home, it's important, because listening to me as a coach is just as important as listening to your mom at home, because she's trying to teach you. And so you live with your parents for such a long time, you get immune to them, or you get used to them, and
desensitized in a way to what they're saying, and you're tired of their message. 100%, maybe
100%, and I relate because I was this young kid that came here when I was 13, 14 years old. I had really no parents here when I arrived to Canada, from Lebanon. And I tell you, I found a role model. I found a father figure and a counselor at school, and he pretty much helped me be the young man that I am today. He had such a major influence on me because he was my coach, but he was way more than just a coach. So I can definitely resonate with some of the players and how they feel, and it's very important for the coach to be very cerebral, very humble, and and be able to level change his attitude and his philosophy in communicating with the players, because they're all different.
And be someone that players feel comfortable talking
Absolutely.
to, perhaps. Yeah.
Absolutely. Be available. Be available for sure. But I think, with young athletes, some things that, a lot of coaches don't do very well is they treat all the athletes the same, because they think, they're just,
They're just
20
here to play.
Well, they're just 2000. They're let's just call them U12. Well, they're all, U12 athletes, so they should all think the same. Well, they're not all the same. Our fingers are not all the same. We're all humans, but we're all different in our ways, but we're all unique in our ways as well. So some players are very emotionally charged. Some players you need to communicate a little different with. Some players need that, the extra push for them to go. They're all different. And this is one of the very important aspect of the youth licensing that they teach you, whether it's the B or the youth license or the children's A license, is the emotional aspect, the mental aspect of the players and what they're going through, and how you have to cater to. You have to understand they're human beings before they're soccer players.
That's right.
They're human beings before they're soccer players. So when they come to the field, yes, they're coming as a soccer player, but they're coming in as a human being that has a way of thinking and doing things. And you got to understand the players. I know we're teaching with cleats, absolutely, but there's also the human element of it.
Yeah, and someone and a coach told me once, it's like you have to be a good person before becoming a great player, because everything does affect your game.
Oh, for sure.
And especially in very high level,
Absolutely.
Your professionalism, how you treat yourself, how you're treated with things around you. If you have an unstable situation, that can bring inconsistency to your game as
Absolutely.
well. So
Absolutely.
there's a lot that goes into it for sure.
So what you're talking about is the elite mentality. That's something that we slogan, the elite mentality, right? I talk about it a lot. I talk about it every single practice. The elite mentality is your thoughts. What you do, what you bring to the game, what you bring to practice, what you bring to your school day, what you bring to dinner, what you bring, all these things, right? If you talk about it, the professionalism, like we're here, we're all using our minds to communicate. We set a time, we're here on time communicating. It's very important. We're going way beyond coaching kids how to play soccer. We're not only coaching kids, we're coaching coaches.
That's true.
We're coaching coaches. We're working with people. It's not just coaches. We're coaching parents, because certain parents just have no sense of time. They think it's okay, whatever. We just show up. If you set priorities in life and you make them priority, but what makes priority is accountability. So accountability is something that we set in place. So, I understand everybody has jobs. Everybody has work. Everybody has things going on in their life. Nobody has more things going on in their life than me. I have a lot of things going on in my life. I got 5 kids, and 4 of them play. And a baby.
And I say something about you that I think we had this discussion at some point. I said to you, Coach Ahmad, because I was coaching in a club that you were directing. And one day we had this chat. I said, something that's driving me crazy is that, I know how busy you are. And I send you a message and you get back to me within an hour, even less. Most of the time, within minutes. Less than 5 minutes, you're back to me. And I communicate with some of the parents and they're like, they don't even respond. And then later I catch them on the sidelines. I'm like, hey, I sent you a text about this. Like, oh, I've been so busy, man. I just can't. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I look at, and I know sometimes their profession and a lot of things about them. I'm like, I own a business. I'm coaching kids. And you're coaching, as you said, you're coaching coaches, the whole club. And you can get back to me in 5 minutes. But someone can tell me something like, oh, I just don't have time to get back to you. And not only that part, another thing that really you just touched on and it really brought back to me was I remember it was just very recently. We played in a tournament against your team there, 2014s.
Yeah.
And I had my 2013s
Yeah.
boys, and your 2014 team beat us 10-2. Now, to put it into context, this is a team that I'm coaching. It is the second season I'm coaching this team, but I've had a lot of struggles with them, and I stopped coaching actually this after the past season. And the biggest struggle has been I get everyone to the games and training on time, and I'm always missing players in training, which in turn makes it really hard for us to build a good game model because half the team don't know what we're doing. And when they come in, they just assume, oh, I'm just good with the ball. I can dribble. I can play. Whereas, like, no, you have to get used to knowing your teammates, how they move. How should I pass each player? Once you play together, you realize this guy is left-footed. Maybe I put the pass on this side of him. Maybe, you know, this guy's fast. So if I put a deep pass in, he's going to get it.
Yeah.
Versus like this other guy, I have to put it close, maybe put it to his foot. So all of these, there's a lot of intricacies to build a team that's so cohesive. And I remember one of the parents after the game came to me and just yelled at me and was like, yelled at the kids, which in turn I said, no, you can't do that.
Yeah.
He started yelling at the kids of like, be ashamed of yourself. All of them are a year younger than you, all of them. And I said, no, you can't do that.
Absolutely.
You don't know anything about that team. Sure, they're a year younger, but you don't know how much time they put into it. You don't know. You show up like literally every game. We tell you not to be late. You show up 5 minutes after the kickoff.
Yeah.
And don't tell me, you know. And then he got mad and he started yelling at me. And then after they left, I went and shook Mark's hand, who coaches that team.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was very interesting. Like, and I told multiple times we talked about it with my wife, Sarah, because, and after that, it even touched me to the point that I started changing some of the things I put emphasis on with my own kids.
Yeah.
I went to him and I was like, man, you build an amazing team. You know what he told me? Said, yes, they are a very hardworking group of kids. And that's all he told me in response. And it just, I was like, that was a perfect response because that is what it is.
That is.
Those kids are on the field 5-6 times a week.
Yep.
They're probably on time. They probably show up half an hour, 45 minutes 100%. Before every game.
100%.
And the discipline, right? When you don't have that discipline, especially a lot of the parents who are trying to have high expectations from their kids of like thinking their kids should be a soccer player or any sports for that matter, that they see the potential and we see it too.
Yeah.
But you're not gonna, and the kids can't drive themselves when they're 10 years old, right?
This is what I was
12
saying.
years old.
100%.
When you don't show that discipline, when you don't embody the professionalism that your kid needs to learn to be a professional in the sport, I think it's too much to expect. From them to then
100%. 100%. You know, it's like you touched on, it's way beyond the game, the professionalism, obviously, and you know what? It's honestly, it's an obsession. You have to be super obsessed about something to do something, right? So let me elaborate on that. So you talk about, you know, some of the things like, you know, about myself, and I reply, and because I'm obsessed with what I do. I'm obsessed with the people because I want them to be successful. I do it for them. So I give them my time. So instead of sitting there for 2 hours watching a movie, turning off my phone, yes, I'm watching the movie. I still want a time to myself, but I'm also engaged in answering, working, touching base, making sure that everything is on time. So it's constant, ongoing, 24/7 movement, always happening. That is called an obsession. So I sleep, I think about it, I wake up, I think about it. It never goes away. To a lot of people, that's draining. To me, That's fueling. That's fueling, because the more I get done, the better I feel. The less I get done, the worse I feel. So for me to feel better and better and better, I have to do more and more and more and knock things off. So if I wake up and I have 50 emails, 75 emails, I want to make sure I'm knocking those out before anybody wakes up. That's why I get up at 4 a.m.
And stress and anxiety mostly comes from, I guess, being behind and not getting stuff done, and then knowing that you haven't got your stuff done. And I feel that way too. More you get on top of your stuff, more
organized. Organization is the biggest thing. You just got to be organized, right? And knowing, okay, sure, you may have stuff that's not done, but at least you know what's not done. It's not lingering in the back of your mind. Is there something important that I need to do that is sitting there that I haven't looked at? Because there could be stuff like that, right? So if I get up at 4 and I hit everything in 3 hours, by the time people wake up and start emailing me, I know what's coming in. It's all fresh slate. I've already done 4 or 5 hours before people got up to start their day.
And you're probably more productive in those 3-4 hours because there's no distraction. You know, you're up and you're doing stuff before anybody else is up. And yeah, I know I sometimes, because I wake up really early, and when I get up and I see you send me a message, there was one instance I saw you send me a message from the day before, and I messaged you, and at I think it was 4:30 a.m. and you get back to me instantly. I'm like, you up at 4:30? And you were like, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Early bird gets the worm.
I did say that. I do recall that. I definitely recall that. 100%.
I tell you what this is, Coach.
Sure.
This is Angie White. This is green tea from High Mountain Green Tea from China. It is a very, very amazing tea. I will make some for you.
Awesome.
And you can see the leaves are a little bit different.
I do see the leaves.
So these leaves are
and they're green and
not
they look like mintish folded leaves, right?
Because a lot of tea you get is like broken up.
Yeah.
It's like a broken up kind of tea, which I have here. This Countess Grey. I will open that up and we'll see. But these are hand rolled. Sometimes some teas are pan toasted and then hand rolled, or there's different ways of processing.
Yeah, I've
but
seen
this
so
is
many
a
different
very
ways, for sure.
This is a very minimally processed, very awesome green tea.
Awesome. Yeah, so obviously you got so many different flavors. Have you tried every single flavor?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's
I
amazing.
definitely drink way too much tea.
That's awesome.
Of course, some of them are when you're doing the tea leaves themselves, it can be a bit much. But there's other herbs, Sometimes at night I have some mint and chamomile or whatever. It makes it nicer to go to sleep and stuff.
So,
but this is my new obsession.
That's awesome.
Because I'm just 24/7 in search of tea, and a lot of great teas come from Taiwan, China, Japan. So I'm up at 2 a.m. and 1 a.m. sometimes, and just messaging these people, and I get back up at 5 a.m. and then get back to
right?
Yeah, because of the time difference.
Yep.
And I'm always in search of new products for our customers, and we have some awesome stuff coming up soon.
Awesome.
As well. That I know I gave you some teas.
So I'm going to talk about that. Yeah. So I want to talk about that, actually, about the teas that you gave me. And, we try to make some tea every night, and while we're hanging out, doing more work. So we had we're between seasons right now, and we have this family that moved all the way from Calgary for their kid to play on the 2014 team that you're talking about.
Oh wow!
Yeah, they moved their whole family.
That's the kind of commitment you need. If you want your kid to be at the highest level, that is the kind of thinking you have to have. 100%.
Right? I mean, they have 3 boys. They owned a house in Calgary, sold it, came here, bought a house, moved the kids, moved the family, moved the soccer, moved the hockey. Changed their whole life, for this opportunity, because they believe in us. They believe in the program. So we invited them over for supper, my wife and I, and they came over, and we were having some tea and, after supper, and we broke out every single flavor. And
Okay,
they were
nice.
just amazed by all this. And so I'm a very generous guy, just like yourself. You were very generous in giving me all this tea, and so they loved every single one. And I could not but say, you know what, these are yours. You love tea.
Amazing.
You're gonna take them. So I've given them.
Hopefully, when they run out, they come to me.
They're gonna come to you for sure, without a doubt. They'll come to you, 100%. I talked about you, your business, and I took a video actually and posted it on our social media, on our story.
Thanks.
And tagged you guys. But you know what? They loved it. They absolutely loved it. You know, I gave them the whole. I think in the bag you gave me some tea bags, some empty tea bags, so you can put the tea inside, and so that way you can make it. So I gave them a bunch of those, and they were just really, really happy about it. So it makes me happy to make people happy. And honestly, this is one of the biggest things for me, what makes me the person that I am. I just love to be surrounded by positive, happy people. And this is something that you bring that good vibe. I've always, warmed up to you and what you bring and your professionalism and everything that you do. And some people can't handle it. Some people, it's too much for them, too much professionalism. People just like to do things the amateur way. Because there's way more amateurs than professionals in this world. So a lot of people relate to the amateur, to the nonchalant way of doing things. It's okay to show up 5 minutes late. It's okay not to wear your socks because you're wearing New Jersey and shorts. No, it's not okay. Not in my world.
Yeah,
not in my world. All I ask you is to come prepared and come on time. And then we take it from there. Because if you do that for me, then I'll take the rest. Because we work with you, not just on your skill and just the way you listen, not just listen, but actively listen. They're two different things. You're working on that aspect of your development. Because if you're not listening, you ain't learning.
True, and I think there's a lot of that in the soccer world, especially in Edmonton, because, or maybe all over Canada, you can see that because a lot of the coaches are not getting paid. They're volunteers, and they're thinking, oh, I'm donating my time. Therefore, even if I do the job 80%, they should be
100%
grateful for it.
100%.
Whereas,
show up, throw a ball down. No, but that's true. It's true. They're not accountable because obviously, they're not held to a pay or a raise or a demotion or promotion. There's no such thing. We're just grateful for these coaches. So if they don't do a phenomenal job, you can't hold them accountable.
Yeah,
they're giving you their time.
But at the same time, if you want to grow in anything, if you want to really get to the professional level in it, because you're gonna eventually get paid if you
eventually.
And I don't know, I personally can't do anything like that. I feel like you either
100%.
do something, do it 100%, do the best you can, or just don't do it.
That's just you. That's just you as a human being. You have to do it at 100%. Otherwise, you won't do it at all.
Yeah, I think.
You won't do it at all, right? I mean, you're gonna give 100, or you're not gonna go and give 50% because that's not you. You can't give 50%.
And also, the 50% doesn't amount to anything. A lot of times, to really get results, you have to give everything.
100%.
Especially in sports, it's competitive, right? And let's be real. As much as it's about, it's not all about winning and losing. We don't want to win at all costs. We want to. Character comes first. The being a good person comes first.
Absolutely.
But at the end of the day, no one likes to be losing all the time.
No.
People.
No, for sure. You know what? It's you're not going to win every game, and you're not going to lose every game. It's part of life is about ups and downs, right? But I think the mentality, again, I go back to the elite mentality, is you should always want to win. The will to win has to be there. It's not the result that we focus on. It's the will to win. It's you coming in with that mentality that I want to win. Now, if you don't win because somebody's better than you, or you got upset or somebody did better than you that day, it's okay. That teaches you way more than winning all the time. The 2014 have never lost. I honestly can't wait till they lose to see how they're gonna feel.
And
We want to see
that
that.
kind of in a way makes you take actions that will lead to winning, right? Like
Development,
Yeah,
lead to more
exact-
development, right? Like you didn't win because you came out not prepared, you came out underestimating. So what is that gonna do? I'm just giving you an example. Well, now I'm not gonna underestimate anybody going out to play. Everybody's good. Now they builds that mentality that I'm gonna go out and battle regardless of who we're playing. It doesn't matter who we're playing. We're gonna play the same way. We're gonna go out and play.
It is actually a very interesting subject because I think in my coaching courses even it was touched on a lot, and I think it's a little bit philosophical and it's not so straightforward that I think a lot of people might misunderstand it. A lot of people say take it as, oh, winning is not important at all, whereas like I think it's almost like saying, oh, I want to be happy. So eating some ice cream makes me immediately happy, you know? So skip all the other things that I could do to become a happy person in general,
Right.
like, you know, getting a good education, getting working hard so I have good finances, working on myself, develop myself so I can be successful. And those things, take a lot of work. While you're doing the work, maybe you're not as happy, but it leads to a happy life, right? Absolutely. To a happy person who has a success, who's financially successful, who has a nice family, who has the things that will lead to happiness. And it's almost the same thing with the winning. Is like, yes, if the winning is byproduct of your work, there is no shame in it.
No.
And we shouldn't, I think, demonize winning altogether. I think it's leading to a place where like people maybe see success as a bad thing. I think there are some people who fall into that mentality of almost like, oh, if you're successful, you must have cheated the system. If you have money and you're successful, you must have done something wrong. Otherwise, it's not possible. But it's not like that. I think it is possible.
It's a product of hard work, 100%. The more work you do, the more luckier you get. It's simple as that.
That's true.
It's just it is what it is. But I tell you, it is a development program. Like these are all development programs. I've had parents that have left the teams because they're not losing. They want to teach their kids how to lose. They want to teach, so they want to come to teams where they will lose. I'm like, okay. They look at it differently. Okay, sure. Take them to a team where they lose and cope with losing because maybe it's important to you. Sure. But, like I said earlier, every person is different and they're not right and they're not wrong. And they're all different. And that's the parent and that's what he believes and that's what he thinks. And I support it 100% because that's what he believes is right in his mind. So, sure, it could definitely develop. And I could be wrong too, in the sense. But, if they're on the right path, they're doing the right thing, right? And they're, projecting properly, why not keep them on the right path? And one day they will lose. They are going to lose. 100% they're going to lose at some point. They will lose.
Yeah, they will go to a better team.
And they will learn. They will learn a big lesson. All these lessons that they haven't learned will all happen in one. And they could lose at the biggest stage.
That's true.
And that will hurt deeply. Those scars make you the toughest people. That's what makes players players. That's what makes humans humans. Is the ones that suffered. When you suffer growing up as a young kid, going through different obstacles, hungry, not sleeping, cold, sleeping in a house with 10 people in one bedroom, that's what makes you thick skin. That's what makes you better because you appreciate everything else that comes in life later. Because if you've never experienced that, if you open your eyes and you're in a bedroom with your own walk-in closet and your own walk-in washroom and you got a PlayStation, a TV and clothes and you don't have to work for anything, You know,
It terrifies me. You're describing my kid right now.
Listen, but seriously, if I send you to Europe to play on a trial and they ask you to stay for a year and they put you in a bedroom where there's bunk beds and now they're giving you 3 dedicated meals, weighted meals, what are you going to do? Guess what? Well, that's not the standard of living I grew up living. I don't like it. I'm coming back here because my life is great. Now, let's take that same scenario, same player, because we do international side. We send a lot of players all around the world. A player from Brazil that lives on the street, or he plays football 8 hours a day because he's getting paid $10 a game because he's very, very good. And he goes home to a 1-bedroom with 20 people in it. He's sharing a mattress with probably 3-4 people. Now you take him and you put him in a double room, in a bunk bed with 3 meals, and that's heaven to him.
True.
And guess what he's gonna do? He's gonna do anything in his power to stay there, not just to play football, but to live a better life.
And just being happy in a scenario, I think like
It's
that
such a
makes
big
you
difference.
kind of like makes you better, because if
Such
you're
a big difference.
if you have that positive mentality,
100%. It's such a big difference. Look, but with hard work, you can achieve all those things that you want. So, and I told this to one of the kids. Yeah, sure, you're gonna go. Your standard of living is gonna go down. You're gonna go spend 2 years, playing in the B team, probably not getting paid as much as you wish to get paid, because a lot of people think being a professional, you get paid a lot of money. The average salary is about 100K in MLS. Like, there's some players that make 80. Like I looked at a post the other day. I think the highest paid is Osorio at 1.2. Everybody else is like 300, 200, 100, 100, 180, 90, 90, 90, 90,000. Tax that. Now you know what I mean? Like,
even in CPL in Canada, I think it's
CPL,
around 30, 40 grand a year.
So
It's almost like minimum wage.
But I'm just saying, so, when you do make it and say you are in Europe and you sacrifice 2 or 3 years of living with somebody in a room, in a bunk bed, eating 3 meals and not going out eating, the fast food and the prestige meals, 2 years, 3 years after hard work, because hard work creates luck. Then you will achieve maybe your first contract where you're getting paid 300 and 400. And you will go get your first apartment where you're sleeping and you got your own bed, your closet, and then your own chef cooking your meals. But that takes work. But if you grow up living this prestige life, it's hard to break into that terrible life or lower standard of living and then to achieve.
Yeah, it's almost when the weight shifts on you. Now you're crushed under that because
100%,
because
man.
you're already used to like all that cushy life.
100%.
Yeah.
You're drinking this amazing tea all the time, and then all of a sudden you go and you're drinking this generic tea. What do you think that tea is gonna taste like?
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
Well, but because I come from rough life myself.
Yeah.
I still drink that generic tea. If you believe it or not,
100%.
I still appreciate that because I'm like, okay, this tastes like this is nostalgia for me because
Yeah.
I want to go. I like to go sometimes to places that sometimes I go to meet my colleagues that I worked in as a line cook in a restaurant 15 years ago. Sometimes I'd like to go hang out with some of those colleagues that's still working in those jobs. And I was telling one of the chefs I was working with back home, maybe I come do a shift once a week here just to jump back online and just get that, get that rush and get that, I kind of miss
right?
it, Yeah, I cooked for years and now I use my palate to...
Now you're a great tea chef.
Tea chef, kind of,
Yeah.
Blend teas and make teas.
That's awesome. Yeah, this is amazing. So thanks for sharing some
So
of this.
I'm going to do this one. This is like an Earl Grey, but it's called Countess Grey.
Okay.
I'm going to do that one for you later.
With orange peel, rose petal, added citrus, and floral touch. Let me smell that. Wow, it's got some blue leaves in there. Oh my God, this smells amazing.
It is, yeah, it is.
Can we show the camera what it looks like? This is
Yeah, it
really
is.
cool looking.
I have a camera up there for just that reason.
Wow, it's very, very cool. It's got like some blue leaves in there.
Oh, those are. I think those are the cornflower petals.
Oh my God, my cup is ready.
Yeah, get that going. No, this is my favorite Earl Grey variation.
Yeah,
It's also
I'm watching how you make all your tea. I gotta buy me some of these tools, right?
Well, I have these coming. I already have. Actually, we have these sets coming. This is a very very cool thing where you can like.
Yeah, like this is a pretty cool
It has
tray.
a strainer in it,
Yeah.
and it comes with a tray. So I'll put together something for you.
Awesome. This is yeah, it's like an art, huh?
A little bit.
That's
yeah,
awesome.
It's a little bit of
Yeah. Cause yeah, you got this one here, and then you got this one here, and you make them in different.
And I'm gonna have more of these coming in, so I'll try to switch to all of those because to kind of keep things
All right,
consistent.
let's smell this. Oh wow, it smells phenomenal. Wow.
You had Earl Grey many times probably. What
Yeah.
do you think? It's a little bit different.
It is.
I think it's a very it's my favorite variation of Earl Grey actually. This
Yeah,
one.
it's very unique for sure. You can definitely taste the orange a little bit, right? Yeah,
More of a citrus
it's very
kind
good.
of the
very very
citrus
good. Very
peels.
soothing. Very soothing.
So with the new facility,
Yep.
you're starting your first camp.
Yeah. You know we
You jumped right into it.
well, I mean, you know, we had a lot of requests from parents. You know, because obviously their kids are not going to be in school next week, right?
Teacher strikes, yeah.
Teacher strike that's happening. Hopefully it doesn't last for very long because we want all the kids to be back in school and all the teachers to be back at work. It's very important for the system. So we decided to you know, put on a 3:30 ending, you know, starting at 8:30, so 8:30 to 3:30, so which would follow the hours of the school hours, right? And we'd run a camp, like pretty much a soccer camp where players come, you know, they continue to develop their skills and you know, get out of the house for parents that go to work, and that way they don't have to skip work. You know, I know the government is doing something like anybody U12 and under, they're giving them $30 a day for the kid or something like that. That's what I heard.
So you can spend some of that on.
You're gonna spend some of that, and you know, because the facility obviously, you know, there's a cost to it, right? So you know, to recover some of that, some of those funds for the coaches as well, and so yeah, so we're putting on this first camp, so it'll be pretty cool, right? For the kids to come and experience the building all day. We have a pretty good open space for kids to hang out inside the building. It's going to be colder, you know, like the temperature dips below 0 right now outside, and it's not going to
But it wasn't there. You have very good kind of temperature control.
And we do,
in
we
there,
do. So
like-
if it does get really hot, it's AC'd. It's AC'd, and it's got really good heating system. Obviously, we live in Canada, so the heat is very important. But we do have a pretty good air conditioning system as well. So to control the temperature.
They're gonna have a. You said you were bringing a kind of a food vendor as well to have healthy food
Healthy food, yeah. So we're bringing a cafe there, coffee, healthy smoothies. You know, for the athletes to kind of, you know, rehydrate, and you know, for the parents to drink some coffee while they're working in the cafeteria where there's some tables and seats and free Wi-Fi, and you know, it's a state-of-the-art building, so we're really excited. We don't want to talk too much about it. We want people to see it. So, but yeah, no, it's exciting.
So this is called Jin Jun Mei.
Okay.
This is my personal favorite black tea.
Okay.
It's also called Golden Eyebrow. It is at another high mountain.
I love the
tea.
naming, by the way. The naming, like it's amazing. Like
It's
it's got so many different like flavors and namings. It's really catchy. I love it.
well, the naming is a traditional Chinese tea. We're
Yeah,
just
but the
calling it what is
golden
called golden
eyebrow.
eyebrow, and it's because of the how it looks. I'll just show you
Yeah,
the.
please show me.
It's see, it has a kind of a golden hue to it. If you,
Oh yeah.
that's why it's called
Okay.
golden eyebrow, and
Okay.
phenomenal quality. This tea is so good that we brought in 3 or 4 kilos of it, and then launched it on our website. It's almost sold out very
Okay.
quickly too. We have a couple of bags left only, and then I turned around and ordered like a lot of it because I want to make it. It's probably 30 kilo coming in. I want to make it our house tea essentially. So when people come in,
Yeah.
I always make free tea for people.
Okay.
And the reason behind that is, as even as a chef working in a restaurant, my the biggest thing that was a draw for me was to share with people.
Okay.
Kind of I could make something,
Yeah.
and people would come in.
You've always done
like
that. Yeah. You've
I'm
always
sharing
been
with
generous.
people,
Yeah.
and people coming here. I also wanna. I love sharing tea with them.
Okay.
And I make them tea, and I make myself tea. That at the restaurant I couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have this tea tray. People come in, I make them tea, and I pour myself too.
Tea,
So we
yeah.
can drink it together.
Together,
That's a different level.
That's a
even
different
for
level,
me. It's
for
almost
sure.
like breaking bread.
Yeah.
And
of course.
in our culture,
Yep.
and you're from Middle East too. I think you probably breaking bread is significant
Oh, it's
in your
huge.
culture as
It's
well.
huge.
If
Yeah.
we wanna really get close with someone, we
Absolutely.
break bread,
Absolutely.
and it's almost like that. And also like I think about one of the things that I realized later when I started the tea business, and it was completely accidental that I fell into tea business, but it really grew on me.
Right.
And one of the things I realized is so many people drink tea, and you these days especially, we're in such a polarized world where like there's a lot of wars going on. There's a lot of division going on in a way, ideologically, spiritually,
Yeah.
and one of the things I feel like still we all have in common is we go out there, we battle our battles, whatever happens throughout the day, all these
Yep.
different politicians, all these different ideologies. At the end of the day, we all come back and we all probably grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee,
100%.
you
We
know,
all do the
and
same thing.
we all do the same thing in the private kind of.
You know what, Solar? Everybody wants peace, happiness at the end of the day. And I think a lot of people are deprived of peace. And that's what creates war. If people leave people alone and let them walk their way and find their way, things will be normal. We can all live together. We can. I think when people start to overtake people in a very strong demeanor way, that's when things go and fall apart. At the end of the day, like you said, the most important thing is just kicking back and just enjoying life. And
Enjoying your peace, yeah.
Enjoying your peace, because there's nothing in this world, to me, that makes people more happier than to see their kid smile, their mom smile, And nothing hurts more than to see your kid hurt. Just imagine now, kids are dying. It's
unfathomable.
mind blowing. Nobody will understand that, like the human being that's happening to. Nobody. I saw a video the other day of this mom and dad looking for their daughter, and it crushed me. I couldn't imagine. They were carrying their daughter lifeless after they found her, and they couldn't believe that she was lifeless. I couldn't imagine that feeling.
It would be devastating.
Devastating.
Words can't describe it.
But
I don't find a word for it,
That's just
honestly.
one of thousands And this is what the world is trying to fight. I don't talk politics. I'm not a politician. I don't like politics. But I know humanity, and I know what's right, and I know what's wrong. And that's all. That's all. And that's just wrong.
And that's the thing, I think, at the end of the day, regardless of what happened and what atrocities, people with their guns committed, different groups and with their extremist ideas or whatever they committed, these kids have no role in that. They didn't do anything.
No. No.
And even if they do anything, they don't have the agency to decide. Like, I know, like, there's this argument they make, as back home, even when Iran and Iraq war was happening, I was born during the Iran-Iraq war, and my father was in the war.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I remember is, there was this, and he was made a hero, essentially. There was billboards everywhere of this 13-year-old kid
Yeah.
who went to war and died in war, Hossein Fahmide. And thinking about it, it is even looking back and thinking about that, he doesn't have agency. Like, the 13-year-old can't make good decisions.
No.
They're very much influenced by their surroundings and the environment.
100%. Yeah. They're manipulated.
They're manipulated,
100%.
and shame on the people who manipulate kids to pick up guns and go.
But let me touch on that though, and I'll explain it in a different way a little bit, because sometimes there's nothing easier to manipulate than to seek revenge. And when you see your parents die, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You're following into the same trap. You're growing up to say, I'm gonna bring revenge to me. And that's all it is. When you see something bad happen,
It's a cycle, right?
it's a cycle. So they're growing up with the same cycle. Until we resolve it and generate peace and starts from scratch, this will never end. Because you're always gonna have this hatred, revenge, and then with that comes defense, and it's just gonna be a never-ending cycle. Always. I like I said, I don't want to talk.
There's no easy answers.
There's no easy answers. I don't like talking politics.
And I know,
honestly.
as a leader of an organization, you probably have people from both sides, everywhere, every
100%,
side, and every
100%.
ideology, and every race, and every type of person plays in your club. And
100%.
and we want all of them to be in peace.
Everybody's inclusive. We include everybody, and everybody has their own opinions. Like, everybody's entitled to their own opinions, and we support everybody. And we just honestly focus on development, player development,
And soccer.
developing those players to be great.
But I'm gonna draw you into politics a little bit, city
Sure.
politics, not world politics, not.
Okay, I don't mind that. Yeah.
Just our city local
Yep.
politics,
Yep.
because we have an election coming up, as you
Yep.
know, very very shortly here.
Sure.
And this has been something I always felt city needs. So I'll let you just talk about what you think they could do for the sport, because
Yep.
it's very important. I think we have a lot of crime in the city, and I think this might be one of those things that could really help with that.
Absolutely.
Is to have spaces for athletes. So I'll let you kind of.
Yeah, you know what? Thank you for asking me that question. Honestly, definitely, we never prepared for any of these podcasts. That's why I love it so much. It's not like we had a set of questions that we were talking about. But if they can do something, that's very cost effective and generate actually income for the city to put towards other things like, different programs to help reduce crime. But one of the biggest things by doing these things will reduce crime, period, is we have these beautiful turf outdoor fields that exist. We have one that we call Footfield, that's used by the University of Alberta, that we dome in the winter, and we take the dome off in the summer. We rent it, we dome it, and they use it all year round. And we could do the exact same thing. We can do the exact same thing for 3 other places like that, which would generate a whole lot more field time for kids to play and lower the cost of playing. If they can do that, there was no doubt in my mind, I'm a businessman, I'd done the math, they would definitely recoup all the costs for the rental of the dome. They would bring down the crime rate because they would take kids, and not only kids, adults want to play. There's a lot of people that want to play. Whether it doesn't have to be soccer, it could be football, frisbee, whatever it is, catch football, flag football, whatever it is. But you're generating more turf time, and that would decrease the crime. But not only that, you're generating more time because it's
And not only crime, it's that it's as you said, even older people. You know, if I get out and move a little more, I'll be healthier.
So let me give you some figures. The dome per hour, if you're renting per section, you're talking $800 an hour. $800 an hour to get when all 4 quarters are rented. 800. The city can do it for 400 and still make a lot of money to put towards these other, organizations and programs to help reduce crime, and on top of it, help players reduce their cost of playing. And look, I'm speaking, and this is going against what I'm doing right now because it's my business. We just opened turf.
Yeah,
which would,
you're better off if
no. But look,
there's less competition.
I'm not doing it. I'm doing this for the better,
for love of the
city,
game,
for love of the game.
of the
If it means that this business goes out of business, I'm okay with it. If we can reduce costs for players.
Well, I with quality of your work, I highly doubt you.
Yeah. Well, we have a service. We provide a service. We provide quality training. We provide professionalism. We provide the highest level of coaching. We provide, obviously, the highest level of facilities and equipment and everything else. Like, we do provide a little different. We're not just a turf provider. We do provide a service. But I would definitely use a lot of that turf if it does become available, because that means, now going back and talking about the game itself, that means more players would be playing 11v11 year round. And you can just set a time between 9 and 11 p.m. where you're just running 11v11 games. That means you would get 2 11v11 games every day. That is almost 10 games during the week. And you would get, let's say you run from 5 to 10 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday where you're playing 11v. That's another thing. That's 20
That could
games.
also increase the quality of PDP programs.
It would
because
increase the quality.
Because
of
PDP
football,
is
period.
like,
Yeah.
we have lack of participation in PDP because the clubs don't have the turf to do it.
No.
Like
PDP is supposed to be an 11v11 year-round program, and they take a break for 3 months, and they play 9v9 for 3 months, and they play 11v11 for 6 months. Not even, because half of the season is ran during trials. So they play for 6 months. Am I supposed to dump this out?
just drink it.
Drink it, yeah.
It's this is Moroccan mint.
Okay. Oh.
You
okay.
like mint tea,
I
you told me,
love
so.
mint tea. And they're playing 11v11 just during the outdoor season. So really, you're doing the same programs everybody else is doing. You're not doing anything different, but they're calling it PDP, and you're paying thousands and thousands of dollars to do this program, which they call a national development program. But you're not getting anything different. And then you got teams that are not doing the PDP program, like our national team that's going to national. We went out and played year up and the same age group. We played pretty much every team, and we beat every single one. And that's not even a national program.
So is there a pathway for teams like yours that are doing so well outside PDP?
Absolutely.
To then go compete against some of those PDP teams?
Absolutely, yeah. We do it all the time. We go down to Toronto, Montreal. We play against PDP teams, and we beat them all.
No, I understand that part, but is the Soccer Canada, are they creating a
no?
Like,
so you're
let's
not gonna
say
compete.
how
you're not going to compete against them at an organization level, at the Canadian no, you're not. But you'll do it in tournaments. You'll do it in where they come together.
Because you know how, like, for example, the CPL team that wins the CPL, then it gets the opportunity to go play in a tournament against these MLS teams, for example, like
in the Canadian Championship League.
Yeah.
No.
So something like that would be.
It would be great.
Great to give opportunity to people who don't have PDP money. You know, like 100%. If they're doing good, if they build it.
And I'll tell you, like if they do that, let's say take the national of U17 from PDP, play against the national of U17, which is the Toyota National, let's say, or the U15 versus the U15, and let them play and call it, a national, whatever you want to call it, the youth championship, to combine and to have like a real champion. I'll tell you, probably this side would win because they got less money and more players play in the programs where there's less money. Better players play with programs where there's less money. It's true.
That is true.
I'm telling you. I see it. I'm the president of the club and I see it. Kids don't have money to play. We have hardship funds for players that don't have money to play, and those are the best players because they don't have gadgets at home to take them away from the game. The only thing they know is football.
How many players we brought from community who were amazing but didn't have even club money, and you use hardship programs and we brought them up, and it's been
those are the best players.
Some of them made it to Europe, and
of course, we have one playing in Portugal right now. That you
one of our one of our best players. Thank you so much, Coach Ahmed. I know you told me you have a limited time, and thank you so much for coming.
I appreciate you guys having me.
This
has been a pleasure.
Thank you. This has been a great episode, and I'm sure we will have other conversations in future, hopefully.
I'm sure we will.
Well, thanks for coming out.
Thank you so much. All right, appreciate it.